Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back and we're live.
I'm Spencer, your co-host, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Dr. Nas, the therapist of all therapists. Inevitable therapist.
Wait for the silence, and then you just have to, I love how you have to just make sure there's no silence.
Yep.
Like it's a radio show or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're about to have dead air. Too much dead air. Remember, folks, don't take us too seriously.
Or do, completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, today, we're starting to get into a different format, right? A different format where we're not just talking about movies or shows, but we're actually just doing a regular podcast.
Oh,
Where
shit.
we just talk. I know. Some of you probably are like, fuck this.
I'm
I
out.
know. Where are the movies and shows, motherfucker? I want the nerds. But not today. Not today. We're actually going to be talking about a very serious topic, men's mental health. Something that is talked about a little bit, but not to the point where it's actually making change. And so today we wanted to take some time to really talk about mental health on the man side. We're going to be mansplaining therapy. Can't wait. And then we're also going to be talking about people who are, big time celebrities who have committed, suicide and who have been going through different things in their life and, keeping quiet about it.
Yeah.
So with that, Naz, anything before we get into the show?
Yeah, it's the next couple episodes, right? Big topics that we wanted to talk about, bring up, but also to acknowledge that we're going on vacation. So going on vacation, Spencer's going. These are some easier, lighter pods for us to pop out while we're like taking time away. And you're going to see a little bit less posting. But also we still wanted to put some content out there on specific topics that keep popping up throughout my clinical practice and that me and Spencer have been noticing. So, and some fun stuff we want to get to. Just want to get to that. We're going to talk about men's mental health. Again, I feel like it's maybe hot for like 1 or 2 days out of the whole damn month. And that's it. And I know a lot of you are women that listen to us or non-binary, but I definitely need to talk about this because there's most likely men in your lives. And it's a very important thing that usually just never gets talked about. People don't know how to approach men. They don't know how to support, validate, maneuver us into certain things or topics, whatever. It gets complicated. A lot of people don't feel like they can handle us. So we're going to talk about the ins and outs. We're going to talk about some other stuff. And I'm trying to save some fucking lives. Instead of just this soft shit that we call like mental health and therapy. We're going to talk about some real shit on men and how we struggle. All right. Boop, boop.
Boop, boop. Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show. And we're back again.
Hey, we're back and we're live with the patriarchy.
Yay.
Yay. That's not going to go
Works
over well.
for me.
Yeah, it works for me. Feels good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
It does. Feels real good. Yeah. All right. So, um, topic we're going to be talking about today, especially men's suicide, but then also men's mental health. Um, you know, we've had a number of just suicides in general when it comes to just people who are, you know, celebrities and or just people who are high ranking, I would say. And I think that when we talk about these things, we do like to have a way to actually relate. And unfortunately, when we talk about men's mental health, it's something that's not really brought up a lot, especially in media. And if it is, it's very, hmm, it's in things that aren't going to be as seen as other products out there. And I mainly mean that, like some of the movies and shows that I watch, they don't really talk about, suicide or anything like that. Now, I will say one of the biggest movies that have come out recently. Um, what was that one with the Zac
The
Efron?
claw, the iron
Yeah,
claw,
the claw.
the
Yeah, the
claw,
the claw.
the
Anyway,
claw.
um, with Iron Claw, that one specifically talks about suicide, specifically within that family,
Jesus.
because yeah, it was a real life story, and they actually did all those things, and it was really fucked up. But other than that, I can't really think of anything recently where it was just like
It's rare.
talking about this,
Yeah,
right?
it's super rare to have like a suicidal undertone of it.
Yeah. And even when it even seems like when I watch things nowadays, especially, it's like it feels like the guys in the stories are just like goofy, not like they're relatable in that sense, but they're not relatable in sense of like they're going through something and we actually get to see them actually flesh that out. And I hope it changes, but I don't think it will because that's a story that people don't really want to tell. Um, as men, we put a lot on ourselves and we hold a lot in, and we want to be able to tell people stuff, but at the same time, we also feel like those things are going to be used against us, whether it's, your partner or, friends, family. It feels like those things are going to be used against you. And why would I open up about that? And I mean, and it also comes from, who you're raised by, right?
Yep.
A lot of guys, they keep holding stuff in. So they see that from their dads, from their just family members, friends, and they're like, well, I'm going to keep on doing that myself and not say anything until it's too late. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Like legit too late.
Hmm.
Literal meaning, period. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Spence, you see it very seldomly. I remember I wanted to do a pod on that stupid ass show, that Little Dicky one. I don't remember what it was called. What was that Little Dicky? Was it just called Little Dicky?
Dave.
Dave. There it is. And it was Homeboy, the black dude in it, his like little
Right.
hype man, and he had bipolar disorder.
Right.
And there's one specific episode where he fucking like loses it and talks about bipolar disorder. There's a like further into it, he starts talking about how it's affected him. How it's like always like you don't get what it's like to live like this, to be fucking miserable, to be suicidal, to be on meds. And
Right.
right, I mean, it's a pretty intense scene where they're in like this random family's house.
Hmm.
We see it with obviously the Iron Claw when masculinity is a huge issue, and so the dad's being horribly emotionally and physically and mentally abusive, so much that
Hmm.
he pushes his kids so hard, and then a couple of them take their own lives, and by a couple of them, I think it was like four of them. It's like pretty fucked up.
Hmm.
Horrific graphic scenes in that movie, but that's real shit. This is why people do end up taking their own lives sometimes. Men, Spencer was right. Sometimes it's like too late. Sometimes the parents subtly tell you like to not show emotions, and sometimes they directly tell you. I'll have
Hmm.
multiple clients, Spencer, they'll be like, "Don't fucking cry. That's not going to do anything. Don't fucking cry. Man the fuck up. We're going to do this." And they like pull the kid along, and like I guess there's got to be some of that in life, but when you're forcing them not to show anything other than
Right.
that mean mug,
Mm-hmm.
you start to die inside. Like the kid starts to die. And the world's already going to take that from you. Like, why take that from your kid? I told you about trying to do this pod because of me and my clients been having discussions about men's mental health. But we were talking randomly about musicians. And so there's a lot of musicians which have taken their own life because of suicide. There's Spencer brought up that athlete that Kavion Lacey. What was his last name? Lacey.
Yeah, it's Lacey. Kyrian
Lacey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Star receiver from LSU.
LSU.
Yeah, and then he got into an accident, right? Broke the law and all this and that, and then he felt so bad. I can't say what was going on in his brain,
Right.
but a lot of things were going on, and he decided to take his own life. That was recent, and that shook up a lot of things. As we did a little bit of research, right? Some Googling, some GPTing. I remember reporting on LinkedIn and a few other things about this surfer that took their own life and how it impacted a lot of that community. Men. So it's always the same thing you hear, Spence. The same thing is like, he seemed fine. Didn't know he was depressed. Seemed fine. I posted it a couple of weeks ago. Brother, it was almost like already 500,000 people have died already by suicide this year. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. It's happened multiple times at this university, Purdue University. Can't say a couple things, but yeah, there's multiple young men taking their own lives, and by multiple I mean like it was 4 or 5 young men in their dorm rooms. Someone took their life close to my house, right? More fatal. In the violent means in which they use. There's a couple other people that were jumping. Spencer, trigger warning for all this. I am so sorry, folks. But the one person was a gun. The one person, Spence, they hung themselves from the parking garage on campus.
Yeah.
People saw them at 10 o'clock in the morning.
See, we talked about that.
We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about this and just how it's just like, you know what?
What are you
You're
doing?
gonna do something like that. Keep it private.
You're traumatizing how many people?
Public,
Spence, the young woman who did it, the gun shop.
Yeah,
they had to clean it up.
That's great.
Right, they walked in on.
Just selfish.
It's just messed up, man. It's messed up, and so I get that these people are horrendous suffering.
Of course.
You know,
doesn't mean you have to bring others into it.
Facts.
You know,
and it's just crazy, like how often. And so I remember we was at the vigil for this kid on campus, Spence. And one of the friends of the boy that passed away, right? They're all huddled up, right? I'm there for support. And they're like, man, this happens too fucking much. Like there's this Purdue P, they call it. There's this P, and they put all the photos and notes and all this stuff, man. It was awesome. Well, it's horrible, but you know what I mean? It's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're giving it's like eulogies and stuff like that from all the students and friends and parents. It's wild, dude. Super emotional. And I remember sitting there listening to the friends like sobbing. They're like, the men were like, this happens too much. And the school doesn't give 2 fucks. Like they keep forcing us to go down this horrific, miserable path educationally. And it's very oppressive. And also the parents messes them up. It's a lot of things, but still, the system is not the best. And so I remember hearing that, man, like, so fuck. And it was a bunch of dudes. I'm not a hugger. Well, I will do it. It's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm just not my immediate reaction. But there were some people that came up and hugged me, dude. I ain't been exposed to that tight in years since I left St. Mary's. And a bunch of wonderful autistic clients are hugging the shit out of me before I left.
Right.
Bro, that was wild. People were moaning and sobbing, all because of these people, right? Their lives are lost. And they were all men. So I don't know what's going on, man. I feel like a lot of times when I hear about people, clients, colleagues going through it, when their clients have taken their own life, a good majority of the time, Spence, it's not the ones that are in therapy that end up doing it and completing, taking their own life. There'll be attempts, yeah, but not completing it. It's usually
Right.
the folks that are super isolated, super alone, don't say nothing to no one, not in therapy, right? My life's worthless, blah, blah, blah. It's very rare. I've only had one person in my 10 years to complete. Um, had a lot of close, a lot of close calls,
Right.
but only one where like it was it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having this discussion today because there's men in probably almost every walks in every version of your life. I don't care how much you hate men or don't if you love the men. There's dudes that are affected around you and that are walking with something. So what I try to tell people, Spence, is you don't know what people are going through. A
Right.
homie may treat you like shit, or maybe they don't make eye contact with you because they're depressed as fuck. Not because they hate you, not because they're racist. Sometimes they just going through their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people treat me or pops weird. I'm like, they got something else going on. Or
Mm-hmm.
they'll treat my clients weird. I'm like, they got something else going on. Not an excuse, but it always makes me wonder, like, what are people going through to act a certain way? And so then you see someone as bubbly and happy and smiling like Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just on Pat McAfee, like literally like a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
just shucking and jiving, talking shit, drinking, talking about drinking, having fun, golfing. And then he
Mm-hmm.
dies of an apparent, some intoxication related issues.
Right.
And which he's been battling drug addiction his entire like life. He'd been
Mm-hmm.
in rehab, car crashes, blah, blah, blah. But he was one of the biggest proponents in the NFL called Kick the Stigma. Indianapolis Colts, super huge, Kick the Stigma. He'd been pumping it, pumping it, pumping it. I was blessed enough to go in there and him bring me in there along with some of my other colleagues around Indianapolis to go in and talk to the athletes and the staff. Kick the Stigma.
Nice.
It was magnificent. We got to hang out, practice, and watch the summer training and all that. Um, it was magnificent. And then to see him in the crowd too was like magnificent. Like how awesome is that? But he suffers, and so I feel like a lot of men suffer, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, we talk about men's mental health, and me and you were discussing it. Like, I don't feel like it's that noticeable, or that people actually truly give a shit. I feel like what you said, like sometimes men will show some vulnerability, some emotions, and then they'll poop on them, or they'll call them soft, or bitches, or pussies, or I want a real man. And a lot of men are
Right.
scared to like show these things because they think that like people are gonna like devalue them, and in some cases that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's perpetuating that, kid. Is it the women that are perpetuating that to your mind, or is it other men that are perpetuating that, and the women are just picking it up?
I think it's everybody. I mean,
Facts.
you could literally ask people like on the street, like I literally just saw like this video. Dude was asking women on the street, like, should a guy wear a WNBA jersey? Simple question. Just wear a WNBA jersey. Just be like, and then there's one who was just like, why would you do that? Why would you ever wear that? Why would you ever do that? And I'm bringing that because it's like it's one of the most simple things. And just showing support for a women's league, you could automatically make you soft or somebody who is seen as just like not as much of a man, right? And it's that even that small of a thing. And I think it also goes to show that like, women in general they've like a lot of women have just become a lot more strict on what they want from a guy. And so when you put that out there that you just have like the all these things that you want from a guy, that's a lot of pressure for some people. And you know I think once a lot of guys don't have like the skills to even talk to women or to even be in a relationship. And so you're going to be alone in that aspect, and that could really affect you. Like you're trying to be all these different things, but like what you're like a what guy who's like 5'7", not bad,
Yeah.
average, whatever, and okay looking, and then you can't stack up to like these certain things that are put on the table. And so I think a lot of guys see that and then they go, what's the point? I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be by myself. And maybe they don't have friends either. Maybe they don't have guy friends that they talk to and hang out with either. So then it's going back to the isolation thing. And I just think that social media, I think that women, men, we all do it to ourselves. I think society in general, we just do this thing where we just set these high bars of what these things should be. And then a lot of people can't live up to that. And
And
it
you kill
just,
yourself trying to live up to it.
yeah. And it's like you, and then and then if you do get to that point, you're fucking miserable because it's not going to bring you happiness. A lot of people just don't understand. Like, it's not that they don't understand. It's the fact like they just don't know a way to be themselves and be happy with themselves, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to go for a 10, bro. Like, a lot of motherfuckers too, they be setting themselves up because they go for like, you know, all like models and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that and go for like all that. And it's like it's all right to have confidence and be
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I know, but it's also good to be realistic and show like, who you are and like you can get to like this point and then maybe work your way up and shit like that. But a lot of the times when it comes to like dating specifically, like guys just shoot themselves in the foot
In a lot of
because
different
it's
ways.
yeah, because they set themselves up for failure because they have these high expectations of what people should be, even if it's not even just looks, it's personality wise, and like it just doesn't work well. It doesn't
Usually,
bode well.
usually with the dudes, man, the conversation is I always tell young women or dudes too, doesn't matter. When it's always the dude that's got the dudes that are coming up to you 9 times out of 10 are assholes. I'm gonna be for real with you, right? They got that game, they got that swag, they hitting up every single girl down the list. And they're like, "Where's all the good guys at?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, he probably at home doing his homework, just playing video games, chilling, eating." I tell people all the time, what you need is you need a fat guy.
But
And they said, "Why I need a fat guy?" I said, "We ain't gonna do you wrong, girl. We ain't gonna do
the
you wrong."
problem
Go ahead, go
though
ahead.
is that like I personally would always tell guys like like you know what, shoot your shot,
Yeah, shoot it.
you know, because nothing is like a lot of the times, especially for guys, we get rejected on a daily basis. Like we can get
Yeah,
rejected for so many things. But when it comes to dating, you really have to get rejected a lot
you
because
do.
that's how you get better. You get rejected and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna
You
switch
do.
this up. I'm gonna do this and this. And then you have the flip side where like if you reject a woman, that's like the most devastating fucking thing in their life. Getting rejected. And then they go at you, then they go at your insecurities, then they go at this, and this. And that kind of rolls into that conversation because maybe we like guys, we do have our insecurities. And if you tell somebody those things, what they are, they could use them against you. And that's why
In
we
a
keep
later
quiet.
discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we keep it quiet.
Yeah, a lot of things. Not the rejection isn't just even dating. Like even trying to hang out with dudes, other dudes. You're always just kind of worried. Like, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? Feel? I'm gonna be weird. Like I ain't trying to ask a dude to hang out. And he's like, "No, man, you weird," or like, "No, or I'm busy, or I got shit to do." Like it's so hard for me to get my boys that are isolated. The key thing that you said was isolated. A lot of us men that are committing suicide, pure isolation and loneliness, feeling like no one understands us. The biggest thing that comes through my office for every client when they're like devastatedly depressed, contemplating life, is no one understands me. I don't even understand myself, but specifically, no one even tries to sit with me. And so we'll talk about, building. First, we regulate them emotions, make sure they don't do nothing crazy. And we'll try to put them in front of people, dude. And dudes are insecure about their weight, muscles, height is a big one with women. But I got a lot of small kings too, short kings, and great dudes, great personality, Spence. But they're in their heads all the time, all the time. Even when they get a girl or a partner, they're like, yeah, they're gonna leave me for like a tall dude. I'm like, if they wanted to leave you, they would have left you, my guy. Like they're here with you now.
Also, I always say this, but like if they leave, then that's okay. That's
That's
okay
fine.
if they leave.
Like that
Yeah,
wasn't
if
the
they leave, they
person.
leave. That's all right. If they go for a tall guy, then they're gonna go for a tall guy who's gonna treat them probably bad. Like it's just how it goes.
Hey, some of you
It's
tall
how
boys
it
are okay
goes.
guys too. Some of you tall boys,
Yeah,
you know.
some of us.
Yeah.
But it's I think that goes back to like the insecurities. It's just that we get so inside of our heads that we think of like all these different possibilities that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that fucks you up because you're just not in the moment anymore. You're thinking about what could happen.
Yep.
And
It's stops you from
thinking back
connecting.
is scary, but thinking forward is also pretty scary too.
Predictive. Yeah, it's fucked
Yeah.
up.
And so a lot of times just stick in the moment and just be happy with like the things that you're doing now. And
Yep.
then if something happens, it fucking happens and just move forward. Like I know that's hard. It's easier to
It's so
say
hard.
than do. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. But at the same time, you're already fucking miserable. So why don't you just try that out and see how it works?
Change it up. Um, it's the isolation for these guys, man. In almost every facet. And normally the isolation starts from family too. Like, right, if the family unit's not good, then where do they learn the skills to connect? And if they already felt weird as shit, right? Let's say they're neurodivergent Spence, ostracized, kind of me like you, me and you, get people fucking with us, bullied, this and that, right? Then we develop this persona. Some of them ain't got the talking skills like us though. And so they end up just isolating more and more and more and more. So I remember one of my humans, dude, was like, man, I don't think I've talked to anyone in the last 3 weeks. It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, no one. No one's even acknowledged me. And I'll put myself in public spaces and it just, the world goes by. I was like, oh, yes and no. And tons of therapy, tons of talking. Obviously, there's depression throughout, the other siblings too. So something's going on in that family unit. Something's going on in that family unit. A lot of perfectionism, a lot of pushing, a lot of stripping your humanity just to become like the prototypical engineer, doctor. And so you start doing these things, right? And they fight you on it, Spence, the men. They fight you on it. No, this. I'm like, dude, you've been doing that shit though. And like, you're not happy. And then all of a sudden, multiple clients over the last 10 years, they'll like make some friends randomly. And like all of a sudden they don't want to die. It's like, yes. I remember a couple of the stories were wild. Like it felt like drunken stories from like me in high school where they were like running around this or that, or like somehow like some homeless dude was chasing this one kid. I was like, it sounds like a great fucking story. He's like, no, it was terrible. Like I thought he was going to murder us. And it was like, sounds like a great fucking memory, my guy. It sounds like a great, you're going to talk about this shit when you're old with dementia.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a great story.
Don't go downtown anymore.
Don't go downtown. You too pretty, boy. They ain't gonna get you. I'm sorry. And so the friendship, man, is big. So I wonder what was going on though. Let's pivot to like some of these famous folks. So we got the sports science guy, right? That just took his own life, and that was like 53 years old, 50, maybe 59. It said. Like I grew up watching him. Smart as shit, fun, charismatic, great show. I think that's part of my childhood, watching this guy break down the sports of what your body does, or like if you get tackled by Ray Lewis, like what it could do to your ribs. I remember that episode.
Break them.
Dude, literally he showed the skeleton just like implode. And I was like, yep. Yeah. And that's why I'm scared of black people. Or Ray Lewis. Jesus Christ.
Flint, Michigan.
Can we bring segregation back to football? I ain't getting hit by this motherfucker. Hell no. Fuck this shit. It's all sarcasm, people. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yep, I know. So that was wild hearing about that, right? That was kind of devastating for a lot of folks. The football athlete, we talked about some of these other musicians. My clients were talking about Juice WRLD, right? Didn't commit suicide, but maybe you did. Maybe you're so fucked up in the head. You got so many demons and you're doing all the opiates in which they were doing and other meds. And you're just like, my guy, like you knew where this was going. You knew you was going to end up killing yourself. And he talked about it in his music. Like, I'm going to die from this shit. It was wild. What's up? Oh, okay. And then you got Mac, right? And Mac Miller. Everyone was sad as fuck when he like passed away. I wasn't even the biggest fan because I didn't listen to his music that much. Then you start listening to it and you're like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's usually they go. I mean, they usually say their pain on their music, and
Mm-hmm.
then happens. There's one song. He's just like, I've been feeling, or I haven't been sober. Mac Miller. He was talking about not being sober, and you're like, hmm, so
You good?
might be something going on here. And then Anderson Paak, he would talk about how in one of his songs he would talk about how um he he knew like something was up, but like at the same time he was also partying and doing stuff. So it's like, how can I be somebody to tell you to stop when I'm still doing it too, and stuff like that. So I he was a sad one too. But
Okay.
yeah, man. But it was also, his shit was like fucking laced with fentanyl.
Oh
So,
shit.
and the person who, like, I think the person who actually dosed it is in jail. I think.
Oh,
I
I
think
do.
they
I think I remember
just put
this.
him in jail. So, yes, he
And
was
no,
taking stuff, but he didn't do it knowingly. Like,
no. Also, they say that you know now, like all this shit is cut with fentanyl now, so that like everyone knows you taking a chance.
well, to be fair, I think it was like right before like the
It
fentanyl
was
like
really
thing like
popping off.
really was
Okay,
it
yeah,
really started
because it's been
after this,
crazy now.
or at least, publicly they were
Yep,
talking about it a
yep,
lot
yep.
more, where it was like a epidemic of fentanyl
Yeah, it's crazy.
overdoses. So,
The reason why I bring this up is you got these famous folks, right? And but it's us to everyone, just your day to day humans, men. Is we usually use substances.
mm,
So, or maybe other folks, they got friends, community, right? Women, there's usually an ability to use their words to connect with other humans. Men, we exercise a little bit, fuck around with your boys, play some video games. Me and Spencer was talking about it yesterday. Video game culture is toxic as fuck. I was literally been told to go kill myself multiple times for sucking in a match. I'm like, brother, no. Like, I'm reporting you for saying this shit. And then, of
right.
course, there's like the 50 million N bombs, and then a couple other things about Arabs. Or I heard this two Mexican dude and this black dude were going at it the other day. I'm like, both of y'all, I was literally like, y'all just need to hug it out, bro. Like,
Nah, fuck that.
y'all need to hug it out. You know, y'all gay for each other, man. It's fine.
Eh,
Yeah, y'all both cute as hell.
eh,
Yeah. And so I'm saying this because we be so toxic. And I'm like, why you gotta say you can't even fucking play video games without being called a bitch? Um, so then you use the substances we see so often is alcohol and weed, alcohol and weed, alcohol and opiates. Uh, and I got so many clients that are hitting the weed, which is fine. I'm cool with it.
right.
But they're not doing it for fun, Spence. They're doing it to completely numb everything out. And then they'll cut the weed out for a little bit while they're working with me. And they're like, I'm feeling too many emotions. And they're like, I need the weed. I'm like, you don't need it, bitch. I need the weed. Put it down, girl. um, it's a horrible addiction. But then again, if it makes my client feel better, then okay. But then also, how do we help people with the context of their life?
Right.
So that way the need isn't as necessary. But also those addiction pathways are a son of a bitch. And a lot of men is what I talk in my talks is you think it's a bitch move to express emotion or to cry. And like we talked about with Marquise, the mad dog, he was like, hey man, I cry. So I cried twice, 2 days in a row. I was like, hell yeah. Cause he made me cry twice in that talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Spence, the reason why men end up coming to me and will always request me for these talks is I normally cry in these talks. Because I'll touch on a certain subject to relate to men. Like, if you don't work on this shit now, you will die. And I'll talk about some sad stuff, either with my brother, my mom, trauma here, clients that I've lost, right? I'm like, this is real shit, people. And I'll look at these boys. And I said, I know you smoking, you drinking, doing your thing, you having fun, you fucking whatever walks. I get it. I get it. You playing your video games and numbing yourself out. I get it. But I need you all to pay attention to me. I need you to respect me in this moment. Why? Because there's probably 5 to 10 humans in this fucking room, and I'm going to change their lives. Also, maybe you're not depressed. Maybe life has been so good you've never been depressed, but there's a chance that you know people that are. There's a chance that if you listen to me, you could maybe save their life. And that usually gets all the men to pay attention. Because I'm like, I'm going to save some lives in here today. And they'll be like, man, this is awesome. Like, I've never heard anyone talk like this. So like, yeah, because I'm showing you real humanity. And I'm privileged because I've talked about this in the past. I'm a big fucking boy. 6'2", was 360, 335 now. Proud of that. And so I'm still big, talk a lot of shit, got that little hood swag to me. And like I represent what a man could be. Instead of when they think of a therapist, they can think of some like little skinny white girl. Or they think of like a dude, but they may think, I'm sorry, lack of a better word, think them probably a gay dude. Because there's not a lot of like very masculine men.
Yeah.
And so they see that and they start to heal, man, because they see themselves and they see me talking shit and having fun, but then they're like, damn, this big motherfucker crying. Like, and you see the boys, Spence, and they just be welling up.
Mm-hmm.
I did a talk for this honor society thing for first generation college students. This is black, brown, a lot of folks. Man, I was in that motherfucker crying the whole time because I can't believe I get to do these talks. And so I was just emotional about, coming from like nothing and just being focused on what I need to do, put my head in the dirt. And then you get like this love from your father and friends and you feel like you don't deserve it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up a few times and I just seen all these grown ass professors, grown ass men sobbing, Spence. Motherfuckers was wubbing their eyes, wubbing their eyes. And it just was magnificent. And I mean, the one lady was like, that was so good. I was like, girl, I blanked out. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
What happened?
I showed my dad the speech. He was like, all you did was call us poor. I was like, Jesus.
You right. You right.
You right. He's like, you called me an addict. I was like, I didn't say that shit. But I just try to speak from the heart. So why do I do this? To heal other men, because we don't see it. Like Spence said, we just don't fucking see it.
Mm-hmm.
What we do see is machismo, masculinity, aggression, assertiveness. We see muscles. We see NFL players. But like, let's pay attention to some of these NFL players. We're seeing a lot of awesome fucking dudes talking about mental health.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall, Julius Thomas is a therapist now. Michael Phelps, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Love, right? We're seeing a lot of, and everyone knows I have a whole roster that you can look on our website, on our link tree, of almost every professional athlete that's going through it right now. We see a lot of these UFC fighters going through legit psychosis. My prayers with BJ Penn, magnificent UFC fighter champion. He's kind of losing his beans because that CTE's taking over.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but he was like trying to beat up his wife and his mom, thinking that they were attacking him. It was super scary, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, it's intense. You see guys like Patty, the baddie, they call him, right?
Patty the baddie.
Like, just suffers from anxiety, depression, and also kind of binge eating disorder. He talked about it recently. So you're starting to see men be more vocal about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's hitting. And I don't think it's hitting hard enough. I don't think it's talked about enough. I see like women me and Spence talked about. I'm gonna kick it to you if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
We saw that chick, that Jay Swole and a bunch of other people. It was like, men's mental health is shit, and like I'm a poo-poo on it, this and that. And then everyone went at her. And then you told me she had to shut her Instagram down. I remember like people were giving her death threats and shit. And I was like, this is okay. It went too far, the hate.
I don't know if she got death threats. I didn't say that.
That's what Jay Swole. No, that's what Jay Swole said. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. I was like, wait, what?
No, you didn't say that. Spencer's like, I DM'd him.
Yeah. Hey, you'll be all right. Just let me know.
So like, I feel like that's a lot of the thing is like, men suck, fuck your problems. I feel like that's the vibe on the internet, bro. Remember the whole man or bear conversation? I get that, men are like terrible, but who would you rather be with, man or bear?
Oh, I can't. You know what? I'm so fucking sick and tired of that fucking
conversation.
That stigma of like all men are bad. Like, it's so no, don't point, because you just said it, motherfucker.
No,
don't say that.
I was agreeing with you.
You just said it. And you know what? Like, I don't agree with that at all, because it's such a bullshit. Because I've met terrible fucking people in my life. Women, men, don't give a shit.
Yep.
And you want to ask why men are killing themselves at a higher rate than women because we're
Astronomically
looked
higher.
at as pieces of shit all the time. And then once we do ask for help, which is rare, then we don't get to see it because we're automatically seen as pieces of shit. So I'm very sick and tired of this and like, oh, men are just terrible. Men are bad. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go go meet all of these other people out in life that are pieces of shit that are
Tons of
women
bad folks.
and just try to just be, just go out in the world, put on like your fucking mask and just say, you know what? All women are great. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go out in the world and all these women are gonna do right by me because you know what? They're a woman and I can do that. I think once we do these little these little I
Viral
want to say
trends,
no, just like once we have these things like these labels of like who we are based on like certain
generalizations.
things, it's that's when it's really just detrimental to everybody, right? For example, you go back to like the late 80s, early 90s, uh, talk to a gay person and and you're like, well, they might have AIDS. I don't know. Like they probably do. Oh, wow. And you're like, that's a label, and you're sticking to that, and you're saying that these people are dangerous because of, their
Or the perverts,
lifestyle.
pedophiles.
That too. And that's still to this day,
To
that's
this
still
day,
a thing.
that's literally what they
And
talked about with Tim Waltz and all this stuff. He's calling everyone he supports pedophiles. It's like, calm the fuck down.
And then you go to the other example of racial issues. Be like, oh, this black person, they must be dangerous. Oh, this Mexican, they're a rapist, blah, 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 blah. We put these labels
Overgeneralizations.
on people and we act like it doesn't affect them and it's not going to hurt them. And like, this will change them. This will make them better. No, it's not. It's going to make them angrier. It's going to make them more lonely. It's going to make them more depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why we have such high suicide rates. And that's why we don't want to talk because we're already seen as bad guys. And so why would we want to talk? Was there to talk
You
about?
already feel like you're irredeemable.
Exactly.
Yep. No, I agree with it. That's what I was trying to say. That's why I brought it up. The man versus bear
Right.
is, and then here's the funny caveat though, is right. Obviously I talk to a lot of women, Spence, and repeatedly
Mhm.
you get the same thing.
Right.
No, not this. Is women are mean. They all go like, I hate talking to girls. They're so fucking mean. I hear that
Do
all the
you
time.
know? Do you know the all right, the statistics for lesbian couples and marriages, it's 75% divorce rate. 75. Higher 50% for men and women. And
Yeah.
then actually gay men, I think, are like 20 something percent,
They love hard.
maybe. And so
It's a Viagra.
see a trend. See a trend there. Hmm. We're moving. We're moving here. Gay dudes are fine. Couples, half and half. And then two two women couples. Ah, they're not very happy here. Why is that? And it actually goes to show, even women have, like you said, have said it that women are mean.
They're
Women are
so
fucking assholes.
mean. But it's a
And
different
so
version compared to some dudes though. So that
more
one's more
passive aggressive
passive
and subtle.
aggressive, manipulative. It could be in
Yeah.
different ways, right? Emotionally, right? But then you get the dudes, we see a lot of the violence. So what do we see in the news? We see all the active like shooters and killers and all
True.
that shit. It's always dudes. So the men are
Mm.
always of the worst perpetrating things. But then what do we do with that? We generalize it to most men suck, which is
Mhm.
inappropriate, which is like saying all Arabs are terrorists, which is like saying all Mexicans are illegal. Like, calm the fuck down. It's just like it'd be inappropriate to say the horrible stereotypes we have for women. Women can't drive. You don't belong in the middle. You can't do math, girl. What? But you're right. The overgeneralizations do affect us.
Mhm.
And it affects the way I show up in the office too. Because of my size and different things and my intersections with color, I got to show up more cuddly, more friendly, more bubbly. Right? Spence knows this. We got to put on our masks. And mine's much more feminine. Mine's hella. Spence. Spence. One of my clients who listens to the podcast, I know she's going to hear this. She's like, Nas, I got to ask you something. I said, what's up, girl? She's like, "Are you gay or not? Like, what is going on?"
Yep. The question we all ask.
Is that a question we all ask?
Are you finally out? Are you finally going to be happy?
I was like, girl, why do you need to know? She's like, I'm just sick of the shit, the games. Like, can you just tell me that way I can just categorize you in your mind? I said, what does it matter who I love? And I was like, I'm straight. She's like, I'm not going to lie. I thought you were gay as shit. I was like, yeah, whatever, kid, whatever. They were like blown away. She's like, literally, I didn't know to this moment that you were not gay. I was like, I've known you for like 3 years.
Exactly.
I keep you guessing.
That's the thing.
I keep you
known
guessing.
you for 3 years. Been like,
Did you really know me? I feel like maybe this is why none of the girls, I could never get no numbers in college, right? They all thought I was gay.
You're like, hi, girl. You're like,
hey, girl.
What you doing, man? What are you going for here, bro?
You trying to go shopping? Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Right? I know I friend zone myself a million times being hella feminine. It's fine. It's fine. So I don't even know what I was talking about.
I don't either. You just went on a whole rant.
Oh, there. It was a funny rant about masculinity. And I was going to make the joke. I mean, if I was gay, at least I know I'd probably 75% chance of staying married.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you got a high chance of being happy. You know?
Isn't that something? There you go.
That's great.
Now we all know. it just takes a penis to cure all your issues.
Hey, dudes know how to make dudes happy.
Dudes know how to make dudes happy.
It's true. It's true. If you ever see a gay guy walking around with a gay couple walking around, happiest people in the world.
Happy as shit.
Happiest people in the world, you know? And it's like half the time you're gonna see like a happy straight couple. Like, we'll see.
They got
maybe.
Shit.
Maybe.
They got shit.
Maybe they'll be happy, maybe they won't.
It depends.
We don't know. And then lesbians, they just fucking hate each other.
The overgeneralization there.
Oh no, generalization.
Statistics. Yeah, dude, I think one of the biggest things with the men that I'm working with, though, like grown ass men. So young men, stigma, masculinity, being seen as this, tall, can't cry. A lot of my clients that are younger won't tell their partners that they suffer from anxiety or depression, specifically anxiety. I feel like a lot of them are cool saying maybe like depression, but not anxiety. Not like, hey, I'm worried about all this shit all the time, worried about our relationship, my grades, my parents. Did you hate me? Does everyone hate me? And I try to push them like, hey, man, tell your girl this. No. I'm like, no, man, like she needs to know that you be tripping out on some shit and like she can support you. No, man, I support her. Like, what you mean you support her? Like, she can support you too. And she will get, well, I don't want to be a burden. Wait. Well, like, I'm supposed to love her. Yeah. She's supposed to love you too, though. And actually, you get beneficence from helping people. So if you allow her to help you, she'll feel less like a burden to you. Or to her, she'll feel like she's burdening you less. Because now there's some reciprocity in these emotions. And she'll feel like competent and good. Like, that's going to help her out too. It's like, no, man, she can't handle all this. What you mean she can't handle this? Homegirl been dealing with depression and suicidality her whole life. You mean she can't handle your fucking anxiety? Fuck out of here. Like, don't try and convince me of these irrational thoughts. So we have these conversations all the time. I have it with young women too. Like, did you tell them? No. And then finally, like, they'll meet someone and then they'll tell them right off the bat. I'm like, damn, girl, you told him he was autistic already? Like, that was quick. He's like, yeah, I just feel comfortable with him. I'm like, why? Always the same reason why. It's because he was a little bit more vulnerable and thus it's like tit for tat.
Right.
The question is who's going to break first? I feel like in almost every relationship you're in, coworkers, friends, family, who's going to break first?
Yeah.
Because no one wants to be the first one, but like they'll subtly say some shit. So my grown men, as we know statistically, Spence, is they tend not to make friends. It's very hard to make friends. You're busy, you got kids, or you're just fully in your job, whatever it is. It's hard for us to make friends. People move away. And so that is the highest chance for us to actually take our own lives as middle-aged men. The highest, one of the highest, number one reason for middle-aged men to die, like right now, is suicide. It's like, what the, like, it's like 20 to 45 is suicide. Well, not fucking COVID, not diabetes, a fucking drug, it's like, what the fuck, man? This is why can't we even make friends? I try to get my boys to go play basketball, join this or that, right? Go, just chat motherfuckers up. I don't care. Just play chess at the park. You're super nerdy, go to the comic book store, start playing Magic the Gathering, like Pokemon Go. They got shit everywhere in the community. And everyone's just like so scared to take that leap because they're afraid that he's going to be kind of weird too. Or like hypermasculine, he's going to judge me. It's like, give people a chance, my guy. Even dudes think like the dudes are going to be trash. It's like, no, man, you're not trash.
Right.
So if you're not trash, that means there's other non-trash people out there. This shit is not complicated, but it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of my dads I'm working with, they're isolated. They feel like they're failing their kids. They feel like they're failing their wife. Their wife is telling them that they're fucking up because they're not doing certain things, showing up, communicating. They've never been taught how to communicate. They've never communicated with anyone. Now they're just supposed to tell you what's going on in their mind. When he comes home from work and he's fucking exhausted. And then they demand these things from my guys and they just can't do it. They don't know what to say. I've gotten a bunch of new intakes in the last week of this exact issue. Communication, getting my boys to like talk. Because their partner's like, what's going on? You're shutting down or you're drinking too much. The biggest time I see when the parents start tweaking, Spence, is when they feel like they're fucking up their kids too.
Mm.
That's when like all hell breaks loose. And that's when we start unpacking the old shit from their parents. They're like, damn, dude, I'm like my dad. Like, well, nah, man, you might be avoiding, you might be depressed, but like, you're not beating your kids. You're not getting drunk as fuck. You're not ignoring them completely. You're just, some shit's been going on. The depression's been getting in the way. Those are the toughest sessions. So my heart goes out to a lot of middle-aged dudes, man. We're going to do a little pivot and then we'll wrap it up. What can men do in your eyes to start feeling better or getting better? And or you could say, and then we're going to do the reciprocal, what can women do too? So if you know anyone that's a dude struggling, what are some advice that you would give another man? And what would be some advice you would give women to maybe show up for men? And then I'll do the same thing.
I would have to say for guys, I guess it's just take chances and don't be as, don't hold on to like what could happen. And even if something does happen to where it might be like slightly embarrassing or something like that, or anything like that, I think you should also just make sure to realize that shit like that's going to happen in your life, and just staying isolated isn't going to change anything. It's like you're already sad, you're already alone. You might as well try something new and see if it actually works, and see if you can be part of like a community or something, um while and I would have to say that it's just like get out of your shell, get out of your bubble, and just try new things, because it's not going to get better just staying by yourself.
It's not going to be, you're not going to meet that person in your room. You're right.
No, it's not going to happen. So I would say that. And then a way for like women to support is like just give it time. Just give it, give us a chance to actually be. I don't want to say that. I would have to say, I think that women should have just a little bit of leeway with us. It's like, don't automatically go into like a conversation with a dude and just be like trash. Go into a conversation with a guy and actually try to listen to what they're saying and go into that, and maybe get out of your bubble and your expectations of what we should be, because at the end of the day we're trying to get up to these expectations and that's fucking us up.
Or the generalizations we talked about.
Or the generalizations. But I think when it comes to like just dating in general, I think it's like expectations, really.
Yep. When it comes for what can you do as a man, agree with everything that Spencer said. I'm not going to reiterate that. I think a lot of us lean on exercise. I love the exercise, but it's not just lifting weights. It's usually the community which you can usually build there over consistent going there. Love that you're doing that. Look, continue to do that, my boys. But understand that it's not the bigger muscles that's going to get you the partner or just solely make you feel better. It's just overall wellness. So continue to do that. I'm never going to knock on my boys doing that, even though I talk shit about it. I know people feel fantastic doing it, but is do your best to know that you're not doomed to replicate whatever your parents did. And you should not hold yourself hostage to whatever your childhood was. So, right, just because all these things happen, I get it. But I want you to work through your trauma or stop putting your trauma onto other people. You know, I get the drug usage, alcohol, I get the video games. But at one moment in time, you're going to have to man the hell up. Be a grown-ass man. You're going to have to handle business and sit in the moment. And you're going to have these difficult conversations with friends, family members, vulnerability with women, right? You're going to have to shoot your shot like Spence said. I need you to man up. And I need you to man up in love. I need you to man up and cry. I need you to man up and be a little different than what you were raised to be. Like the shirts that we got. Dare to be different. Dare to be a different man. You don't have to be some motherfucker that's out here killing people in the military. You need to be real. Lead with your heart and your emotions, because that ain't soft and that ain't bitch shit. That's real shit. And you will save your life and others. Lead with the goofiness. Lead with the energy. Lead with your interests. Lead with creativity. Don't just lead with, nah, I'm fine. The I'm fine shit needs to stop. For all my dudes, I'm fine. You need to stop. You need to find other words and actually identify some emotions. Pull up a feelings wheel. You know, it feels like second grade. Pull up a feelings wheel and start digging into that shit, man. Start figuring out what emotions are which. On how women can show up for men. You know, I like what Spencer's saying. It's like some of that patience, not generalizing things. I would say is ask us questions. Specificity in questions, though. And don't allow an fine to be enough. But also don't be mean and naggy about it. It's very complicated, I know. But continue to be curious. It's really not. I know what I can hear.
It's not. We're very basic creatures. We really are. As dudes, we are very basic creatures. Like, we're not that like fucking hard to
ask us a question.
Ask a question, but don't keep asking it, right? Don't keep asking the same question. Like,
I like it to be specific, because if it's not specific, I'm gonna be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're going through stuff, I would ask you to acknowledge, like, hey, honey, hey, homie, I noticed that you've been coming home really tired. I noticed that you haven't been talking a lot. I noticed that maybe you've been drinking more. Start with, like, I noticed. And then lean in, I noticed. I know you're not okay. This ain't the man that I used to know. This ain't the man that I fell in love with. It ain't hitting the right way, honey. Jesus. Not like that.
You got that whiskey dick. I don't like it.
Girl, I'm throwing it in. I don't see what happened.
You never climax anymore. What's the problem?
Bitch, that's called Lexapro. I want depressant meds, girl.
My dick don't work anymore. Yeah, all right.
It's either suicide or my dick. And I chose to live. God damn it. I chose to live. Anyways, that's why we got one of them Roombas. It'll take care of you, girl. It's a vacuum.
Goddamn fucking power tool in the cabinet. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, I told a client the other day, I said, Elon coming out with them robots. I said, I'm gonna let you right now. Ain't a man in this world ain't fucking that robot.
No.
We
gotta take them down before they get our women.
We gotta break some in. Jesus Christ. This is for America.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We got a mob of robots.
Well, see, this is why men suck. Well, no, this is why I suck. I just be saying wild shit. The client was like, nah, can we not talk about this? I'm like, it's fine. I know what you're gonna do with that robot though, girl.
Jesus.
But ask questions, patience, and don't be, like Spencer said, don't shame the emotion, but foster the emotion to where that person can unburden themselves with you. It's built on trust. It's built on you talking about your emotional stuff. It's built on us not being afraid that you're going to run away as soon as we tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing that can pretty much happen is we give you some vulnerability and you run. It's the same thing for like women as well too, right? If you say something and the dude's like, hey, bitch, crazy, man. One of the worst fears is that you're open up and you're vulnerable. Whew. And then they leave you? No. The body is easier to give away. Giving away your vulnerabilities, ooh, that's some tough shit. So remember, it's an honor to take in someone's story. Be patient, be kind, ask specific questions or clarifying things to get them to talk and allow them to kind of sit in it. Give them grace and time to like find the words and figure it out. Or if they need to leave or write about it, right? Give us time. Shout out to all the men that are going through it. As Spencer was saying the other day, don't do it. Don't end it now. Don't end it now because then you die in your misery and your sorrows and your pains. There's no future, as he was saying, last week. You can never get better. You die there. This is a passionate plea for all of you, but specifically to the men to connect with people, to don't destroy your life, and then many others. I don't know, man. God bless y'all. Take care of your shit. Check on your people, man. Check on your fucking friends. Check on your boys. No one ever fucking looks in on us, man. No one ever asks how we're doing. So hopefully you guys do that. That's all I got, Spence.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I would put the suicide hotline number. I don't think that's up anymore, is it? Or did Trump take that down? Or I don't know.
I'll be real with you. I think it's still up. It was the queer one that he took down. So gotcha. I'm pretty sure. Oh man, I don't want to mess it up. So it's the suicide hotline number. We will put it on. But also, I think you can text. Is it 899 or 877? You can just type it.
I thought it was 899.
Let's look it up.
Let's see.
We're going to look. We're going to go Googling.
Hopefully, my Google's not like.
I love a good Google.
You're in danger. It's 988.
So, 988 is a suicide. So you text 988. Talk to someone.
Talk to somebody. Talk, people. Talk.
Yep.
It's anonymous. You don't have to give your name or anything like that.
Yep.
Just talk to somebody. All right. Yep. They're on there, and that's what they're there for. So
facts.
So there you go. All right. So with that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. Different Spectrums back.
All right, everyone. Much love, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
Completely up to you. Peace.